you can't change your life until you face yourself. And most people spend their entire life running from their own reflection. Self-awareness isn't a luxury, it's your survival instinct. The day you become aware is the day you begin to live with purpose. You've blamed the world long enough. It's time to turn the mirror around. Everything you're searching for begins inside you. Growth doesn't start with action. It starts with attention to your thoughts, your patterns, your truth. You're not lost. You're just not looking in the right direction. Inward, be honest. When was the last time you really met yourself? Unlock the hidden power of self-awareness. Spend our lives looking outward, chasing approval, measuring success by someone else's ruler, hiding behind routines that feel safe but slowly drain us. But what if the real journey isn't out there? What if it begins within? Self-awareness is the bold decision to stop running. It's the moment you stop blaming others, stop pretending, stop numbing. It's the quiet courage to sit alone and ask, who am I really? Not who the world told you to be. Not the version that keeps others comfortable, but the unfiltered, uncomfortable, honest self beneath the noise. Most people never face themselves. Why? Because it's hard. Because truth is heavy. Because when you become self-aware, you can no longer lie to yourself. You begin to see your excuses as fear, your habits as escape, your anger as pain. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But here's the beauty. When you face yourself, you find your freedom. You start noticing your patterns, the way you shut down during conflict, the way you sabotage happiness, the way you chase people who don't see your worth. And more importantly, you begin to ask, why? That why is where transformation begins. Self-awareness doesn't shame you, it awakens you. It helps you catch yourself mid-self-doubt and say, no, that's not true anymore. It reminds you that your past doesn't define you, but it does explain you. And once you understand your patterns, you can break them. The power of self-awareness isn't in the knowing, it's in the choosing. When you become aware of your fear, you can choose courage. When you recognize your triggers, you can choose calm. When you hear the voice that says, you're not enough, you can respond, watch me. You become less reactive, more intentional, less focused on controlling the world, more focused on mastering yourself, and that changes everything. Your relationships improve not because you force them, but because you're no longer operating from insecurity. Your goals shift not based on ego, but based on alignment. Your peace deepens not because life gets easier, but because you get clearer. Self-awareness is not a destination, it's a practice. A daily decision to be honest, reflective, and awake. It means asking the hard questions, listening without judgment, and being brave enough to change even when it's uncomfortable. So, if you're ready to level up, stop scrolling for answers and start listening to the voice inside you. Because you'll never become who you're meant to be until you face who you've been. The silent saboteur, your unconscious pattern. Self-awareness isn't just about knowing what you think, it's about uncovering why you think it. Most people walk through life on autopilot, controlled by beliefs they never chose, reactions they never questioned, and patterns they never noticed. These invisible forces shape every decision, every relationship, every failure. You may wonder why you keep ending up in the same arguments, feeling the same emptiness, or sabotaging your own progress just when success is near. It's not bad luck, it's not other people. It's the silent saboteur inside you. your unconscious patterns. We all have them. Maybe you grew up believing that showing emotion is weakness, so now you suppress everything until you explode. Maybe you were once told you're not enough, and now you spend your life trying to prove your worth to people who don't even deserve access to you. Maybe you fear abandonment, so you push people away before they can leave. These patterns were born from pain, from moments when your mind decided, this is how I'll survive. But survival and self-growth are not the same thing. What protected you then is now preventing you from evolving. Self-awareness means bringing these patterns into the light. It means noticing, without shame, how your mind operates. You start seeing the triggers that make your voice shake. You recognize the voice in your head that always prepares for disappointment. You catch yourself hesitating, not because the risk is too big, but because the wound is too deep. And the moment you become aware of these things is the moment you gain power over them. Because when you're unaware, your patterns control you. But when you're aware, you control them. The journey isn't about fixing yourself because you're not broken. It's about unlearning the behaviors that were built around your pain and replacing them with choices built around your truth. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Growth always is. Self-awareness often feels like grief. Grieving the person you pretended to be, the stories you told yourself, the time you lost. But it also feels like hope, because now you're finally in control. You can now pause before you react. You can now choose a different response. You can now say, this version of me isn't my final form. The greatest act of self-love isn't treating yourself to comfort. It's telling yourself the truth. And truth is the foundation of freedom. So don't be afraid to confront your patterns. They're not your enemy. They're your map. A map that leads you straight to the version of you that's been buried, not lost. Keep digging, keep noticing, because the deeper you look, the higher you'll rise. Reprogram your inner voice from critic to coach. There's a voice in your head. You hear it every day, narrating your life, judging your actions, echoing the past, predicting the worst. Sometimes it's subtle. Don't mess this up. Sometimes it's loud. You'll never be enough. But it's always there. That voice, it's not the truth. It's a reflection of everything you've absorbed. Pain, fear, shame, and repetition. And it's shaping your reality. Your inner voice is the filter through which you experience the world. It determines how you interpret success, failure, love, and self-worth. If that voice is cruel, you'll shrink. If it's kind, you'll rise. Most people let their inner voice go unchecked. They confuse it with intuition. They believe it's them. But here's the truth. Your inner voice is a habit. And like any habit, it can be reprogrammed. First, you have to become aware of it. Pay attention to what your inner voice says when you make a mistake. Someone criticizes you. You look in the mirror. You try something new. Do you hear encouragement or attack, support or sabotage? Chances are your inner critic formed in childhood when someone's words carved themselves into your identity. Maybe it was a parent who never praised you, a teacher who made you feel small, a friend who betrayed you. That criticism became your echo. And now, even years later, it still speaks, in your own voice. But you don't have to keep listening. The first step to reprogramming your inner voice is separating from it. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. When you hear you're going to fail, respond. That's fear talking, not fact. When you think I'm not smart enough, say, that's an old story, and I'm writing a new one. The goal isn't to silence the voice, it's to redirect it. Turn your critic into a coach. Instead of "you're not good at this," shift to "you're learning, keep going." Instead of "they won't like you," remind yourself, "I like me, that's enough." Speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love, with patience, with belief, with grace. This is not about delusion, it's about balance. You don't ignore your flaws, you just stop weaponizing them against yourself. Your inner voice sets the tone for your entire life, so let it be a source of strength, not shame. Let it push you to grow, not punish you for trying. The more you practice this new voice, the more natural it becomes. And one day, without realizing it, you'll face a setback and think, "This doesn't define me, I'm still moving forward." That moment, that's not just self-awareness, that's self-mastery. Asterisk, stop wearing masks. Live, authentically. From a young age, we're taught to wear masks. Smile when you're sad. Be agreeable, even when you disagree. Fit in, follow the rules, don't be too much. So we adapt, we hide. We become who the world wants, not who we really are. But behind every mask is a suffocated soul. One that's screaming to breathe, to be seen, to be real. You might be wearing a mask right now. The strong one who never breaks. The people pleaser who never says no. The perfect one who's afraid to make a mistake. And maybe it's helped you survive, but it's also made you feel invisible, even to yourself. Self-awareness means daring to take the mask off, not just in private, but in the world. Not just with strangers, but with yourself. It means being honest about what you want, what you feel, what you fear. It means letting go of who you think you should be and embracing who you are, even if that person is messy, uncertain, or still healing. Living authentically doesn't mean being loud. It means being true. It means saying no without guilt. It means asking for help without shame. It means walking away from roles you were never meant to play. And it's terrifying at first when you take the mask off. You risk rejection.